With all of the hardships local businesses are facing these days because of the coronavirus pandemic, the last thing a business needs right now is for someone to rob them. But that is exactly what happened to two companies. Fox 5's Lauren DeMarco is live in Southeast DC with more on what exactly happened. Lauren.
Hey, Sarah. Busboys and Poets, one of the only dine-in restaurants in Ward 8. It's very popular here, along with the juice bar across the street, whose owner grew up in this neighborhood. Both of these businesses were targeted by thieves overnight. In fact, you can see that there's a boarded up window here at Busboys and a makeshift mural painted on it. Surveillance cameras captured a guy throwing a rock through that glass panel to get inside Busboys and Poets just before midnight last night. He walks around, finds a cash register, ended up making off with the drawer, but that drawer was empty. They do not keep cash here overnight, fortunately. A similar situation, though, across the street at Turning Natural. Although, according to the police report, two suspects were involved at that business. The owner of Busboys and Poets received a call from police just after midnight, and it came as a shock, salt in the wound, because the real concern right now has been staying afloat during the pandemic.
This is not the time you would imagine that people would do something like that. They would try to pull together, try to make things work, try to, be more of a community. And of course, these are also desperate times. We have to think in terms of that as well. People are out of work. They need, to live, so people are going to do desperate things sometimes. I wanted to make sure that people know that even though this happened, it's not going to deter us from being one with Anacostia.
With Turning Natural in particular, like, she is of us, from us, and has come back to her community to help. And, this is the thanks she gets. But, it's going to turn out for the better, because I think, we can turn this into a positive. Like, hopefully this will galvanize the community to kind of, build a team around Jerry and Clint and Turning Natural and all of the people involved with Busboys and Poets.
While Busboys and Poets remains open for carryout, the owner, Andy SHALLAL, says that typically only accounts for about 15 to 20% of his business. He has had to lay off 95% of his staff across all 7 locations in the D.C. region. He is very concerned about making rent and other fixed costs.
So I think a lot of restaurants are going to probably go out of business, I suspect. I think there's, speaking to others and so on, this lasts any longer than a couple weeks. I think that's what's going to happen. It's really tough. It's really tough. We're hoping that government is going to come through in a very decisive way. That's what we're looking for. That's what we pay taxes for. We're hoping that government will come through and make that work.
We asked D.C. police if they are seeing an uptick in crime because of the ongoing outbreak. They say so far they are not. They do have several officers who have tested positive, though. And there is a warning or a request from the public that if you call for police service, that you let them know if you have any of the COVID-19 symptoms so that they can prepare ahead of arriving at the scene. Back to you in the studio.